Hey guys, so this is a bit of gonna be a rant about Apple and their practices with security, because hasn't been an issue up until now. Um, I have an old Apple ID that I have apps on from like 7 years ago or something, because I had issues with my uh, Apple ID that I had at the time, which I have now fixed those issues with it. So I have apps that I bought and got on that old Apple ID, the alt, I'm going to call it. And on that alt, I have two-factor authentication on. I turned it on, and of course, I didn't think that you wouldn't be able to turn it off. So I turned it on in like 2017, and it's been on ever since. And I go to log into it, and I'm greeted with the two-factor authentication, which normally isn't that big of an issue. It's a bit annoying, but it's security, it's almost needed. So I go to do that, and I don't have a code, because of course, all the devices from 7 years ago, I no longer have, except for this phone, which is listed as a trusted number. And actually, this phone came out in 2020, so it's not from around that time. But it is listed as a trusted number, because I had a phone at the time, and it's the same number. But that doesn't solve anything, because I can't sign into it on this iPhone with the trusted number on it, because I need the two-factor code. It's a vicious loop, and there's no way out of it. And the worst part is, there's no way to turn it off. There's no way to turn it off. There's none. There's no way to turn off two-factor authentication. And you know what the worst part is? It's auto-enrolled. It's auto-forced on when you create an Apple ID now. And you have to know how to turn it off, and why you have to turn it off, and why you need to turn it off. And also where to go to turn it off. Because you only have 14 days to do that until it locks down your Apple ID, and you can't turn the piece of crap off. This is the worst possible thing Apple could have done to their users in terms of security. What the actual fuck is that? So imagine this. Grandma gets a phone for Christmas or whatever. So we're going to say she gets an iPhone 5C. Because she needs a phone. She wants a smartphone. She got one. So here you go. Apple 5C. She logs into a new Apple ID, creates a new Apple ID, and it has auto-forced enrollment for Apple ID. So, or for two-factor authentication. And no one knows how to turn it off in her family, because there's so many non-techie families for every techie family that comes along. So no one knows that this is a problem. No one knows it's going to bite everyone in the ass later on. And so she goes about her business for 5 years with this phone. 5 years later, she gets a new iPad. Let's say an iPad 2. It's not newer. Actually, this is actually newer than this. But for the sake of argument, let's say this is newer than this. 5 years newer. 5 years after she got an iPhone, she gets an iPad. And 14 days after she got this iPhone, when she created the Apple ID, the Apple ID locked down on two-factor authentication, so you can't turn it off. So she goes to sign in on her brand new iPad to get all her emails and photos and stuff that she needs access to, and guess what? She can't, because she wiped this phone when it had software issues 2 years ago. And now guess what? That Apple ID, with every account on everything else pointing to that email that is her iCloud email on her Apple ID, she can't get to anymore. She is stuck using a new Apple ID that she just made 5 years later with none of her stuff on it. And you know what the worst part is? She now has to sign in on, all of her 20 other accounts on every service that she signed up for on the internet, like fucking Google Drive, just anything. It could be anything that you need an email to sign up to, and it verifies when you log into it with that email that you signed up with it. She can't do that. She has to create new accounts for 20 websites. What the fuck were Apple thinking? And the worst part is, the worst part for me at least is, I have apps that I bought on that, and downloaded for free on that account, on that iCloud account, or on that Apple ID, that you can't get anymore. They're not on the App Store. I mean, they exist on the App Store somewhere if you purchase them and can download them to a device, but they're not listed in the App Store anymore that you can get. You can only get them if you purchase them before and they're on your Apple ID already. Then you can still download them. But if you don't, you're fucked. Fucked in the ass. And I have devices that can run these, and these can't run newer apps. So I have to use the old apps, which means that I'm triple fucked in the ass because 1, I can't sign into my ID. 2, there's no way to download the apps again. And 3, even if there was, I would have to waste like $40 on apps because Apple is an idiot. Please share this video, and I really hope this gets sent up. This is a pretty long shot, but I really hope this gets sent up the chain, because this is the worst security practice I've ever seen in my entire life. And I've seen a lot of bullshit. I mean, not compared to most people, not really, but to me, I've seen a lot of bullshit happen with electronic devices. And this is one of the worst, and one of the worst that I have had to deal with. Please share this video with as many people as you can. I want this solved. This is bullshit. Thank you.